Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. It's your girl Meg. Thanks for tuning in to another video. Today we're going to be doing a tag video. I don't know if I've ever done one. This was, it's a set of questions and you make a video answering the questions over a certain topic. This tag video was actually created by two other creators, Samantha March and Allie Glines. And then I saw my friend Dana do this tag video too, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of jump in. It's called the eyeshadow palette tag. I feel like I could never own enough eyeshadow. I just honestly have so many things and I honestly should declutter that. Let's just get this party started. But before we do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button so that we can be friends, and make sure to follow along on social media where I do a lot of beauty demos all the time, especially on Instagram stories. That's where you're gonna find me on the daily. So let's connect there because I'm only here once a week on YouTube. So anyway, let's get this eyeshadow palette party started. Let's talk. The first question on this tag video is show your newest palette. And bada boom, this is it. It is the Naked Ultraviolet palette. This is the newest release from Urban Decay. It is their purple Naked palette, and I actually like this a heck of a lot more than I thought I would. I thought it was really pretty to use. If you love purple shades, I thought this was a great palette. If you want to see it in action, I did use this and demo this as a first impressions on my Instagram stories, and I saved that as a highlight, so you can go check that out. It's a really pretty palette, so I really like this. The next question is, show your oldest palette. Guys, this is older than all three of my children, and I've kept it for this long. I feel like, you know, it's like the palette that kind of started this whole journey into my blog and social media and stuff. I feel like it was one of the first ones. You're probably gonna guess it. You're like, oh, I know. You know. The original Naked palette. When I say it's older than my three kids, my oldest is gonna be 9 this year, so I'm pretty sure this palette is more than 10 years old. And no, I don't use it. It's just sitting in a drawer as kind of a reminder of where I started. Like, started from the bottom, now we here. I honestly thought I would have hit pan on a lot more of these, but I did not. But this is probably the most I've hit pan on an eyeshadow palette. I loved this. This is the OG favorite, OG Urban Decay, and I love Urban Decay. You'll see a couple of Urban Decay stuff in here today. This is where it all began, y'all. The third question is to show your most expensive palette. So I don't own any Natasha Denona or anything like that, but I do own this. And this is from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Pillow Talk Instant Eye Palette. And I believe this is $75 for 12 shades. So this is definitely the most expensive palette that I own, you know, per, I guess, shade wise, and also in price. I believe this is the most expensive one I own. And this was sent to me in PR by Charlotte Tilbury. You guys know I love Charlotte Tilbury. It's just a wonderful brand, and I do love the luxury of this brand. I do love and use this palette. It's a great gift item, especially for like the makeup lover in your life. If they really don't want to spend $75 on like a 12 shade eyeshadow palette, but you're like, oh, I bet she would like that if that showed up into a gift for her. Girl, this is it. The packaging is absolutely stunning. The eyeshadows perform really well. They're beautiful. Would I spend this kind of money on this for myself? Probably if I really wanted to treat myself, honestly. Okay. Now I'm showing my most affordable palette. I also thought in terms of like price per shade, if you will, again. My kids are literally screaming. I am so sorry. I can't get away from them. I've been home with them for over 4 months. So you're just gonna have to deal with any background noise that occurs in this house. What was I saying? This is it right here. It is the Profusion Chocolates eyeshadow palette. It's got 21 shades, and I just price checked this before I filmed this video. It is $9.99. And the cool thing about this palette is while it's pretty dusty and it kicks up a lot, I feel like the quality of these shadows are actually surprisingly really good. 21 shades. It's got, like, these are really great to play with. You know, these are decently good shadows. I mean, yeah, some of them are not the best quality, but it's affordable and it's fun to play with. So this is my most affordable palette. Next question is, show your everyday palette. And I have to say, this is the one that I reach for all the time if I just need to do something really quick. Like if I need to travel, literally this is like the first thing that goes in my bag. I'm always reaching for this all the time. I love the slim packaging, and it's the Naked Reloaded palette. I think this is an amazing follow-up to the original Naked palette. I need like a beverage. The Naked Reloaded palette is so good at being so versatile. Plenty of matte shades and matte neutrals. You've got some fun bronzy pinky tones in here. You've got a wonderful coral that gives you a little pop of something different. Champagnes, great brow bone highlight. It's got everything you need. I feel it's just like one of those effortless palettes with a little something extra special into them. Show your most colorful palette. Okay, this is my most colorful palette. This is the James Charles Morphe palette, the mini version. So this is the exact same version of the larger palette, which it's pretty big, but in a smaller size. And the pans are smaller too, so you'll see that they're much smaller eyeshadow palette pans. This is a normal eyeshadow palette size pan, so you're gonna get little smaller sizes along with this row of neutrals in the bigger size. I feel like I don't need the big one because how often am I really going to be jumping into these colors? I wear a lot of neutrals, so this is just for fun and I like to have it in my collection. Like, I haven't played with it enough to really kind of like dig deep into it, but I don't reach for it very often, but I think it's great to have in my collection if I need to dip into any colors, especially vibrant ones. And then there's also a question that asks you for your biggest palette, so I would have to say as far as number of shades, this would have to be the biggest palette that I own as well. This has 40. By definition of the number of shades that are in a palette, this is the one that has the most. Outside of this 40 shade palette, I do own a bunch of Morphe palettes. They are 35 shades, so this is 5 shades more than them, than the like typical Morphe palettes. Most colorful and largest palette. Now, this is my smallest palette. The next question is, what is your smallest palette? And this is the Urban Decay Naked Petite Heat palette. I don't have the other small Naked Petite palette. This is the only one I have. It comes with 6 shades. They're matte. This one has a little bit of a sheen to it. It's kind of more of a satin finish, but the others are matte in this. I think it's great for travel, or like if you want to be pretty minimalist with your eyeshadow. This is a great little palette, especially if you like warm tones. I don't find myself reaching for it very much. If I'm traveling, I feel like I might pack this sometimes, but for that, I'd rather just put in the Naked Reloaded. It's very slim. So with the Naked Petite Heat, do I 100% recommend it? I don't know. I just don't really reach for it, but if you like matte warm shades and you're a little bit more of a minimalist and you want to have a very minimal small palette when you travel, this might be worth it. But I don't, like I said, I don't really use it very often. Show your palette with the best memories, or best memory. For me, when I think back at like just like a really great year, things that I did. 2 years ago, I had so much fun, and one of the best family vacations we have ever done is our 7-night Disney cruise, and I brought this on it, and so I just remember like doing my eyeshadow and going to brunch at Palo. I know that's kind of silly to tie an eyeshadow palette to a Disney cruise, but I just remember using this eyeshadow palette on the cruise, and I brought this to Disney World too. This is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. It is one of my favorite palettes of all time. It's got such beautiful pink berry tones to it with some neutrals and golds. Champagne pink colors. This bright orange is beautiful. This is awesome. I use it a lot. I actually hit pan on this. This is impressive. Really love the formula of the ABH shadows. They're very powdery, but they are pigmented. They do kick up a lot, but I don't know. I just feel like they blend out really easily. I highly recommend it and still love it. Okay, show a palette worth the hype. I don't really know if this was overhyped or hyped up a lot, but I felt like I saw a lot of people talking about it, and it is the Tati Beauty palette. I really don't know what she calls this. Volume 1. I think it's something neutrals. I'm really not entirely sure. I bought this because I like Tati a whole lot, but second of all, I just felt like it was really unique in the fact that there were like a color story this way with different finishes. I thought that was it was set up really cool. And these glitters are just so indescribably beautiful. Like, they're so hard to see on camera exactly how crazy beautiful these glitters are. You do not have to mess with any glitter primers, or this is just beautiful and easy to use, and I feel like it is definitely worth the hype that I saw that it got. I was very pleasantly surprised by this. I really think it's beautiful. And then we're at the second to last question here. What is a palette that is not worth the hype? And these are technically called palettes, but they're quads. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Luxury Palette. Maybe this is my smallest palette, actually, because this has 6 shades and this has 4. Why didn't I think of that? Oh well, whatever. Let's just deal with this. This is a 4, like a quad. This is technically called a palette, but it is a quad. And while I think these are so beautiful, I think that the quality of these eyeshadows are great, I'd actually rather spend a little bit more and go ahead and buy this palette for $75. You know, like, for the money that I'd be spending on this, I'd rather splurge a little bit more and get something like this. High quality, beautiful. I love Charlotte Tilbury. I stan Charlotte Tilbury. But this, for me, I feel like, you know, I just didn't think that these little quads were worth the hype. And there's a bunch of these that are really popular. And then the very last question that I'm going to answer today is my most used palette. And I'm thinking in terms of like current times. You know what I'm saying? I'm not thinking like in the existence of me owning eyeshadow palettes. In current times, my consistently most used palette would definitely have to be this one. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam Palette. Here we go. Boom. It has got these beautiful neutrals, got a couple of matte warm tones, these rosy bronze colors. You get a burgundy, a black, dark brown. You've got like a dusty rose, some golds, a beautiful brow bone highlight. This is like my favorite, probably my favorite eyeshadow palette of all time as far as like a neutral glam eyeshadow look goes. This is just everything I love in an eyeshadow palette, all the shades that I love to use. Sometimes I also do travel with it. I just find that it's just so versatile. You could do something very easy, this metallic pink on the lid and just run out the door type of thing, or you could really build this up and create a very, very, very vampy, dark look with it. It's just beautiful and versatile and neutral, but it has something special to it. It's not just a bunch of browns and golds. It's got pinks, cranberry, or burgundies, oranges. Like, it's just more special to me. And that's why it's the most used. I feel like I can do so much with it. And that's it, you guys. We are done with this video. This is me talking about some eyeshadow palettes. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want me to do any more tag videos like this, I would absolutely love to do that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give me that thumbs up. I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. Bye! Mwah!